the world. We're gonna take on 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 the world. Feeling the kid.
Hi everyone, my name is Nilesh Mathure. I'm the co-founder of SaaS Tribe, and thanks for joining me on this live stream. I see a few friends of mine here. Hi Pamela. Hey Sam, how's it going? I guess we haven't been that active in the group, so hopefully a few people can join. But we want to do this just to give an update on Airmeet, and I saw some conversations, and a few friends of mine mentioned about we not getting updates and so on. So the actual facts are a little bit different. So I thought maybe we just check it out, what exactly we get and what we don't get, and see a little bit about what we do actually get as well, because Airmeet is a pretty good platform, and we're actually doing a virtual event very soon on it. So when I saw the news and the email, it leaves a lot of confusion, and part of that confusion, Airmeet has to be blamed, because I think the email should have been crafted a little bit better, something to learn for their communications team as well as for the community, because there is a little bit of course, going to be doubts, and doubts result into rumors, and and then people get upset, right? So, hi Pamela, hi Sam. We have a few more folks here. Let me see. Joe is here. Oh, hey, Joe. How's it going? All right, Joe. Well, Joe, I hope we don't get screwed. I saw that comment, right, and we had been chatting in the group as well. So I do hope we don't get screwed, but you know, unfortunately, that's the world we live in, right? Like, I mean, we are incredibly lucky at times when we do get access to some of these tools, and it's like, if a tool does become successful, you still get a little bit of a shorter end of the stick, and then if the tool isn't successful, that's also really bad, because that will end things much sooner, right? And but that's just the way LTDs are, I think, and part of it is not properly crafted agreements. AppSumo is to be partly blamed for this, I think. I mean, they could have better clauses when Airmeet wasn't that big, and we wouldn't have seen that day. But anyway, are they ever going to provide updates to the standard plan, which I purchased? Christina, okay. So Christina Dennis, hi Christina, how are you? I think I haven't seen you on a live stream here before. Thanks for tuning in. And then we have Ernesto as well. Hi Ernesto, how are you doing? So yes, so Christina, what I'll do is I'm going to go back and go ahead and share my screen. Here you go. Right. So I did bring that page up. So I'm going to share a few things here. And we'll talk a little bit about how LTDs are going and what we can do so that this thing doesn't keep on happening again and again. And a lot of people who are impacted are mostly small businesses, consultants, right? Like, I mean, for big corporates, it doesn't matter if you raise the price by $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, it doesn't matter. But a lot of the people in the community who paid probably $200, $300 at the time when Airmeet was selling their plan for probably less than $100 a month. At that time, to trust Airmeet and then not getting those updates is disappointing. So we're going to talk a little bit about the what was sold actually on AppSumo. So as you can see, the lifetime access to Airmeet standard plan. And whenever a SaaS found company changes uh, the naming convention of the pricing plans they have, and they should be able to change. I mean, marketing wants to innovate and come up with pricing plans and naming conventions which make sense, which is okay. But there should be certain clauses in the agreements that whoever purchased that, you should give them the highest tier in terms of or their, or maybe the middle tier or something of that sort, right? Now with Airmeet in particular, the three codes, I mean, there is a lot going on here in terms of what we are actually getting. If you look at the plan, we are getting quite a few things. I'm taking care of two cats as well, so they are just jumping on me. So you might see them come up. Anyway, all right, let me go back to. All right, okay. Sam is saying I'm very happy with Airmeet sold my codes. Okay, Sam, uh, you know, uh, you may find dollars, but to be honest with you, I think Airmeet is actually a really good platform, and I'm going to share with you what they're sharing. Right. So um, let's go back a little bit into this particular uh, plan, which they sold on AppSumo. Right. So it's a standard plan. I think they changed some of the things. They evolved their product, and so far, they've still given a lot of updates. Even yesterday or like last week, whatever the announcement was, right? The announcement, whatever they have announced, right? They have repackaged a lot of things and they have added three different things as add ons. And part of those add ons as well, we are not getting, but I mean, in terms of their standard plan, professional plan, the three code LTD plan from AppSumo actually gives us a little bit more than the professional plan in some aspects, right? Now, they did announce a few things, so I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit of the video. Let me see if I can route my sound to the thing. Okay, I will need to do something here. 1 second. Yeah, so Geraldine is saying, I think they've delivered much more to LTD than AppSumo launch. It's a true gem. I think it is. Yes, completely agree. I mean, they they have actually done quite a bit of things and updates, and the plan is not bad. So I don't know what the fuss is about. We're going to look at it. I mean, there are certain things which aren't good. I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect scenario, but still it's not bad. I mean, there is a lot of good things going on with Airmeet, and they've announced a few things, and I'll tell you how it has been repackaged into some of those things, right? So if you get a chance, watch the Airmeet session. If you have Airmeet, of course, and if it concerns you, watch the Airmeet session. It's called Experience Different. And I will post a link in the comment section, right? So if you get a chance, watch the product. Uh, okay, so it's I think it's the product keynote session. So just watch that session, and you will understand what I'm talking about, right? So let me go ahead and play this a little bit. Okay, so this is what they announced: Airmeet Event Experience Cloud. Okay, so part of it is repackaged into some of the services, some of the custom managed event services, uh, custom URLs and things like that. And we can go into some of those details for sure. Statistics and analysis, and so there is a lot of the old stuff in there in this announcement, which has been rebundled and repackaged into something different, right? Like into, and there is a lot of course, new features as well. And I will show you what we're not going to get, right? So first, let me start with this particular thing. If I hope you can see my screen still. In If you look into these packages, the Air Studio Plus, the Air Studio 3D, and the Air Control Hybrid, right? This is the custom event URL. Replace Airmeet branding with your logo. We are already getting that feature. I mean, we can replace Airmeet branding already. It's custom branding options across the event. We are getting those things, right? The only thing I don't think we're getting is the custom event URL subdomain, which wasn't in our plan. I think, and I don't think it's going to be included. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but which is fair. I don't think we need it. Like, so if you need it, you can go ahead and upgrade, and they made an upgrade offer. Um, there is Air Studio 3D, which is a 3D virtual stage, 3D reception launch, 3D booths template, and a dedicated event manager. Right? So these are things which I don't think we're gonna get. They haven't confirmed yet. I have asked them. They're gonna email me. But the reality is, it is okay. We don't. I can get away without a 3D virtual stage, a 3D reception and launch, and 3D booth templates. Right. Uh, if I really need it, and if there is a demand for it, and if I have a huge event coming up, and I can pay for it and get that service, right? I mean, get that add-on as a package to our existing plan. Um, but I don't think this is going to be included, the Air Studio 3D. And then you have the Air Control Hybrid, which is for hybrid events. And with the COVID, era kind of thing going away, and travel restrictions going away, and a lot of people to people contact is getting better now. There is a lot of in-person event happening. So to keep up with that, a lot of virtual event platforms are evolving into hybrid events as well, to make sure that they accommodate virtual as well as in-person events, and they're calling it hybrid events, right? Which makes sense. I think it's great that Airmeet has actually evolved into that, so that there is more longevity of the platform, and we get to enjoy it based on, all these enterprises and corporates paying for it, right? Like, so if you are really doing a hybrid event, there are other platforms which you can combine with Airmeet possibly and use it. I think, but we are not going to get the hybrid portion. I don't see how we're going to get the hybrid portion, right? If we get it, that's great. But these are some of the things which we're not going to get. Okay. Uh, we are also not going to get, one second, let me see. Okay. So we are also not going to get 1080p by the looks of it, right? Because that was included in the, that is now included in the professional plan and the enterprise plan, or whatever they're calling it. So you can see here in the professional plan, you have the 1080p streaming, okay? And then you have the customizable 3D booths. So we are not going to get that from what I understand, but which is okay. All right. Um, we what we are going to get, I'll show you that as well. So first of all, let me cover a few more things here. Okay, so they announced this Air Studio. That was a big announcement, and Air Studio 3D. Air Studio 3D is just coming to Airmeet, and like like if you go with really high-end meeting room kind of systems, we've designed a lot of high-end meeting room kind of systems. These kind of meeting room systems exist. I mean, if you go to a local Cisco office, and these kind of meeting rooms have existed for a long time, where you have half of the table, like maybe a 6-person, 8-person table, where it looks as if it's curved, and it's a very high HD video conferencing with life size screens in front of you, and the other half of the table can be somewhere else, and then you can do a virtual meeting, right? You're not going to get that experience in Airmeet, in Air Studio 3D. Whatever it may be, it is still going to be a 1080p video, and it is not going to be like a life size kind of. This is more of like like a news desk kind of thing, right? So it's not that you're going to miss out on it much. I don't think so. If you look at the quality of the Airmeet video, it has been 720p as per what they had promised on AppSumo. So we're not going to get 1080p. Uh, this Air Studio 3D shouldn't concern you too much. And if you really want to do a proper video, and if you look at some of the Airmeet events, the video is not that great. All right, if you watch this event, their video is terrible, right? I mean, and but they do allow RTMP in, and that's what makes Airmeet really special, because if you have RTMP in, you can literally stream at 4K, and they're not going to spend their resources on transcoding it back to 720p. They'll let you stream it. You use your encoding resources, and then they will even provide you with the recording, and the recording will be in 4K, right? So I it doesn't really matter if it's 720p or 1080p to me. If I want to stream it 4K, I stream at 4K. They're allowing RTMP in. They're not going to spend any resources to downgrade that to 720p. It will kill them. It will kill the whole experience, and it won't be feasible. They are better off letting me RTMP in, and just stream at 4K. So when you want to use video, use RTMP in, use your local encoders, and you're good to go. You don't need 720p, 1080p on the professional platform. You don't need to pay for it. Just invest into a good video production software, and add your streaming keys, and use RTMP in for every single session on Airmeet. They're allowing okay, so let me go back into and share my screen, and we can go back into each of those. Okay, so this is an event I had created. I'm working with a few indie hackers, building public kind of crowd. So we're gonna host an Airmeet around Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So what I want to do is invite these folks. They're gonna pitch, and they're gonna make an incredible offer. And it is not for everyone, of course. There might be some LTDs, but there's going to be some newer tools, some incredible pricing plans, and incredible offers for a lifetime discount on a subscription plan. So I haven't really talked much about it in the community. I will, but we're targeting like a different user base, a subscriber type of user base, and then of course I'm going to post it in the community. And if you are interested in attending that event, you're most welcome to. So what we want to do is give each user, each founder, a booth, a session, and they can talk about it. their product. They can give an incredible plan to the community, and if anybody wants to purchase, they can purchase. And if you don't want to purchase, that's fine too. No pressure, right? So we don't uh, do anything which is misrepresented. We're not going to aggressively sell into the community. We sell into a different market already. So I want to keep things simple. I want everyone to enjoy the vibe and community overall. But if you are interested, you're more than welcome to join the event. I'll post the link, and we're going to have some really good founders and community. We're still talking around sponsorship, prizes, and stuff like that. But we want to make this like a regular occurrence. Make sure that indie hackers or micro founders type of crowd, which has a very niche product, they put a lot of effort into development, get a platform to offer their deals, and we can make sure that we give them that right exposure. Okay, so a little bit about that event. Uh, so going back into the event itself, right? This is what an event looks like. If I want to create a new event, I can do that as well. I can create an event. You can create a smaller event, which is like a webinar, or you can create like a virtual conference, which will be like a multi-day event. So typically for like summits, conferences, expos, and so on, right? Now let me go back so that I don't have to create one more. So I can go ahead and schedule, right? I can go ahead and add an activity, okay? So I hope you can see my screen here. So they've added pre-recorded sessions, okay? So now you can do pre-recorded sessions. It's still in beta. And then you have your stream into Airmeet. Okay, so you can do that any day. As I said, you should always stream into Airmeet. You will get a much better video quality. We've had several discussions around Airmeet and RTMP into the community. If you are sharing a screen or if you are presenting something, uh, don't just use the Airmeet capabilities for video and start streaming in and start sharing your desktop through Airmeet, because your audience won't even be able to see what's on the desktop, right? Because 720p and with the Airmeet quality, you could barely see what's happening, and you will immediately disengage. The audience will feel disengaged, and you would lose that audience. So you don't want to do that. What you want to do is always RTMP in, use your encoding resources, and stream at 4K. Who cares, right? I mean, or stream at 1080p or 2K. So they announced one-on-one speed networking, fluid space, right? So they talk about fluid space here somewhere. Oh yeah, here. Okay. So they talk a little bit about fluid space. Okay. So this is already included. So there is a lot of things into this announcement. If you watch the session, it's already included in the LTD plan. What things are not included, I've covered it already. And you're not losing much, to be honest with you. Airmeet is absolutely great value. Use it to your advantage. Create your events there, and they look extremely professional. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the branding aspect as well. So you can create various sessions, pre-recorded sessions. So here you're going to get 720p, unfortunately, for pre-recorded sessions. But there are ways of getting around it. If you can just stream into Airmeet instead of a pre-recorded session and record your video ahead of time, right? And then stream into Airmeet a pre-recorded video from a different machine or desktop at a certain time, and you can still play that video at more than 1080p, no problem, right? So there are ways of getting around it. So speed networking yes, you get that, right? You get break, explore, booth. So fluid spaces, absolutely, it is activated, and it is also, I think it's in their free plan as well. So with the AppSumo plan, it's already included. Then you have your speakers host, which you can configure pre-recorded videos. As I said, if I want to, if I upload a 1080p or a 4K video, they're going to downgrade it to 720p. But instead, if you stream a video, a pre-recorded video through something like OneStream Live or something into Airmeet at that particular session time, you can get away with some of these limitations. Okay. Let me see here. A few comments. Sorry, guys, I've been talking a lot. Let me see. I think they have delivered much more. Yeah, Geraldine, I think answered. But what are we going to get in terms of updates? Yes, I'm going to cover it. Will we get the 1080p live stream and recording? The Air Studio doesn't concern me much, but not getting 1080p is absolutely awful. Then what's the point without 1080p? Okay, so guys, I think I covered this thing, right? If you look at their AppSumo page, they had committed to HD video. And okay, so I don't think they've ever committed to 1080p. Correct me if I'm wrong. See, they have covered HD recording, right? So they haven't committed to full HD in the AppSumo plan. So unfortunately, we cannot fault them here. It would be nice to have it, to be honest with you. I asked today if we are going to get 1080p, and I was told that it is included in their support, by their support, that it is only included in the professional plan. So uh, I, I highly doubt we're going to get 1080p, but there are ways, as I said, to get around it. Use your OBS or use your Ecamm Live Pro or use your any production software which you would use to produce the video, stream into Airmeet using RTMP in, and you won't have that 720p limitation, right? Even 1080p looks bad when you're streaming at 4K. You get a lot more advantage. So use it to your advantage. You have RTMP in future, which is really nice. You don't need to worry about 1080p. I hope that answers your question, Christina and Dennis. But I know it is awful. Okay, can we at least have a monthly or yearly deal add-on for 1080p? Let me see if I can change the color of these questions here. Okay, so can we at least have a monthly or yearly deal add-on for 1080p? Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. You can always ask for it if you can get that add-on, for sure. But the reality is, you you can take, like, don't get stuck with using the why do you want to pay for a 1080p add-on? Why don't you like stream into Airmeet and use their RTMP in, and that way you don't have that 1080p limitation. You can stream at 2K or 4K or high resolution. I mean, instead of paying for the add-on, maybe if you invest into like a production software, which will, allow you 1080p or an LTD, which will allow you 1080 with RTMP out, you can just go ahead and use that with your Airmeet. And good, yeah, it will probably add some more complexity, but when you are doing an event, you want to have multiple people, right? It's not going to be like one person to manage it. I think you will have multiple people coordinating to run different sessions, host different sessions, and manage the backstage and all those things, right? So support. So I don't think you want to pay for that add-on, to be honest with you, a little bit, right? So you can just literally use a third-party software, stream into Airmeet, and you will get a much better quality. Okay. So okay. Okay. So we covered that. Sorry, this cat is distracting me. Hey, hey. All right. So okay, registrations, right? So registration, nothing had changed. Uh, you can still have the registration. You can add custom fields to your registration, and based on those custom fields, you can do further segmenting as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that. This is the cat. All right. Okay, stay there. All right. Okay. So we are going to cover a few more things here, which are the important things. Branding, right? So landing page builder. So this is what they announced, the new landing page builder. We are going to get access to the landing page builder. This is the newer theme. I will go ahead and open it. Hopefully you can see my screen. Okay. So yeah, that's my screen here, and you can see the landing page builder. So this is the exact landing page builder which they have demoed in, right? So this is, let me see if I can go back into the session a little bit. Leaderboard. So leaderboard is covered as well. I think we still get access to the leaderboard. No problem there. All right. Just 1 second. Yeah. Okay, so breakout rooms. I think for breakout rooms, uh, we still have access to the breakout rooms. I have to check. And the last time I remember there were breakout rooms. Uh, they have announced it, but we'll have to check. There is one-on-one networking for sure. I assume that's what they mean in terms of net. But if there is any additional add-on, we'll have to check. Uh, Going back into the landing page builder. So this is the new landing page builder. You can customize it. It's really nice, especially for the event space. You know, it's very easy to use, very intuitive, right? So you can still add all the sponsors. You can change the stage backdrop, which they have already included in the AppSumo for a very long time. You can have custom reception, customize your reception. You can add your banner. So there are a lot of these customization things which are already included, and it's not going to change, right? So there are things which the way they announced it, for sure. I think it's more of like a marketing plan, and they want to rebrand it, and we understand that there are a lot of features which is they're selling as add-ons, but there is still a professional plan on their side, and I think our plan covers a lot of those features and more than the professional plan. Now we are not getting 1080p as we said, but there is not it's not gonna be that we're gonna fight over it and we're gonna get it right. That's what they promised everybody who purchased. You purchased it assuming that it's going to be HD video only, right? If you want to get away past that, go with RTMP in and encode your own stream. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about. Okay, all right, Ludwig. So yeah, just get away from, don't worry too much about 1080p. You can stream into Airmeet, and it actually is a better experience. If you look at the Airmeet conference, this big event which I had, if you look at their video quality, it wasn't that great, right? I mean, the reason being they are not using RTMP in, and they use their own platform, and the video is not that great. If you use the RTMP in, your problem will be solved. It will be much smoother, a better quality video experience. And from an event management perspective, it's still a great platform. And I don't think it's going anywhere. Unless I'm getting it wrong, I don't think it's going anywhere. Okay, so you email communication. So you can add new emails. So this is in beta as well. You do get access to it. So you can on session bookmark on invitation. You can click upon send confirmation. Okay, so there is event reminder emails. You can set up your own emails as well. Okay, and you can select it which segment or group you want to target. Let's say I want to target registrants, and you can use it based on certain tags. Okay, just drag and drop it in here. Okay, reply to address, delivery time, you can customize all of that, right? And then you can further customize this email by adding a text button here, and then crafting your email based on these blocks, right? So there is a lot going on in terms of your event management platform already with Airmeet, and it still provides a really, really good value. I don't think you should be upset about the email too much. Yeah, it would be nice to get all those features, but you there obviously it's a company for profit. They're going to want to monetize it somehow. So there are booths. You can add booths. The booths are the same. There is no change in terms of the booths. You are not good. I haven't seen any type of 3D experience in here, and I don't think we're gonna get it. Okay. There is analytics, and you can perform. You can add different segments. You can do a lot of analysis already here. There are reports which you can generate as well. And then there you can do custom integrations. You can send all this data through Zapier. You can customize your event registration form, send all this data to Zapier, to any of your automation platforms or email platforms, and use those capabilities as well. It's not going to be that complex, right? So some of the analytics which they've announced that they're going to give out to into some of these add-ons, you can still achieve a lot of that. You have access to Airmeet's API keys, so just see what they're doing with their API, what they're exposing, and uh, you should be able to get a lot of that done from outside of Airmeet as well. You don't need to really worry about it. I'm gonna cover a segment here. So you can of course segment your attendance based on the type of event attended, or total number of sessions attended, total number of booths attended. So based on the number of booths or the type of booth people have attended, you can send them those type of emails, or you can them invite them back into another event, and you can do a lot with your audience once you actually have the registration form crafted, and when those audience attend those events, you can take all that information and still use it. So there are custom fields in registration. Use that, and and get to what you want to achieve, right? Uh, I do want to talk a little bit about session recordings. If you are streaming into Airmeet and using Airmeet's RTMP in quality, RTMP in feature, you are not going to get any type of session recording in here. You're not going to see the session, but you have to give your session ID and the event name to the Airmeet support staff, and then they will give you the streamed recording to you through the backend, right? So that's one of the things which you need to keep in mind. Uh, until very recently, that was the case. I don't know if it has changed, but when you stream into Airmeet, you will have to ask the support staff to give you the recording. The recording doesn't show up into your session recordings. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about the customization which we get, and it's always been the case. So you can set up ticketing here. You can add a ticket, and you can. Okay, so I will have to connect my Stripe account here. I haven't connected it, but you can add tickets. Once you add tickets, you can add coupons as well. I think we get up to 1,000 registrations every month for free, and then you have to pay $1 per registration, which is fairly reasonable if you're arranging a for-profit event, or even just a community event, or a something where where it is related to your business. For sure, $1 per registrant is not too bad. Okay, so you get the participant list. You can import that as well. You can. I want to talk a little bit about something else. One second. I think I'm forgetting. Okay. So if you send a request, they will also add your event. I think a lot of people have done that, and you get a lot more exposure if they show your event. Uh, Analytics. I wanted to talk a little bit about your users. Okay. No, I guess. Oh, who is this? I missed out on. Okay, I missed out on Airmeet. It was out just before I entered the LTD world. Can't comment on Airmeet, but enjoy joining the SaaS Tribe live streams with Nilesh. Thank you so much for saying that. Let me see who this is. Oh yeah, Jason. Jason, thank you so much. I really value you joining the session, and I hope you're doing well. I hope it's not too cold in Alberta. Is it snowing already? I wonder. But yeah, yeah. Thanks for joining in. There's quite a few people here. Let me. So, Jason, I think you missed out on Airmeet, but I also want to let you know that if you ever want to do an event, I'll add you as a host, and you are welcome to do any event you want on Airmeet. So you're welcome to use it anytime you like. So I mean, whatever you want to do, Airmeet is still a great platform. I think it's a great way to connect with folks. It's very very professionally done. I mean, I cannot say I cannot say enough how good and well thought out platform it is. So There are other things where like you can do, like you can use something like Hey Summit, but it doesn't do all of it. But I've seen people using Hey Summit to organize their event sessions and event page. And if you have Hey Summit, you could use that. But Jason, you're always welcome to use Airmeet. I can add you as a host, and I can even help you with the event. So anytime, just let me know. And thanks for being part of the community and contributing to it so much. So for sure. Okay. So watch the session, guys. There is a lot, I mean, of things you will resonate where they have marketed it as if it's going to be it's like it's more of like a rebranding of some of the old things and some new announcements. Yes, we're not going to get that Air Studio 3D and but we don't need those. We don't need we weren't promised those things in the first place. It would be nice to have, but we still get a good value out of it. So still enjoy it. I mean, there is nothing to worry about, and use it to your advantage if you have purchased it. Let me. I want to show you. Okay, so there is engagement here. There is live stage engagement, AX360. Okay, so this is something I wanted to talk about. So, I mean, this would be nice to have. We're going to ask some of those things as a community that, hey, if you can give us some of those things, for engagement, it would be great, right? If we are missing out on a few things, uh, then that's okay. But at the most essential thing, sure, if we can give it out, that's great, right? But there is a way of asking. I think if we label them as if they are, shortchanging us, I don't think that's going to work. It's more of like asking politely and getting things done, right? So there's one more thing I wanted to cover. Yes. Okay. So branded event experiences, right? So you see this branded event experiences. This is the exact same thing which we are also getting, and that's what you want, right? Like you want a great event page, and of course you can build yours too, or but but here you are getting most of the things which they have announced, and they say that in even in their free plan, they're going to add some of these things. So just check your account if you have Airmeet, and there is nothing to worry about. You can still host an incredible virtual event on Airmeet, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to have indie hackers, micro founders, some of the newer SaaS platforms with subscriptions, and our goal is to bring them on into our event and get them to present their software about themselves and make an incredible offer to the community. So we're going to host our event for the community as well as for some folks on Circle uh, on Airmeet. So I do hope that you get you attend our event, and I'll of course add that invite and make a big announcements, and we'll make some pre-announcements before that. But we're going to design some of this thing in the new Airmeet landing page and branding options and customization, and you will get to experience what Airmeet is. And we are going to use the lifetime deal account. We're not going to pay for the professional plan. So we, at the end, you will see that you're not going to miss out on much. Uh, all that fuss which you see, sure, maybe something they might shortchange us in 3 years, 4 years. That's a different story, right? But as of today, I think we're still on track to what we were promised and what we are receiving. You don't need to panic about anything and don't read into something. That's all second-hand information. Uh, for today, you're good. I think you can do a killer event on Airmeet. Okay, so thanks, Nilisha. I appreciate that. And I fly to Montreal tomorrow for a week's training course. Oh, wow. So that's amazing. So I think Montreal, I'm not sure if it's still that cold, but Toronto is having amazing weather. I think today it was like 17, 18 degrees. Everybody was out in shorts. It was really, really nice. So I hope you have fun in Montreal as well, Jason. Montreal is a great city. I love Montreal. It's really, there are parts which are, of course, very, very cultured. I really like Montreal. And especially during like the winter, as Christmas gets closer, I mean, it's a very festive, right? Even Quebec City. I don't know if you're going to go to Quebec City, but really love Montreal, Quebec City. So I hope you have a good time. Are you doing the course? Are you conducting the training? Or are you taking the training for yourself? Okay. So I think overall, I, I think my whole conclusion is I think Airmeet has to do a better job at communicating. Sure, they want you to upgrade. Every company does, uh, but you don't have to upgrade. Uh, for the professional plan, let me actually open up that email if I may and show you what we actually received. I'm just gonna quickly check that email very quickly. Okay, so it says 50% off the Airmeet starter plan for 3,000. Regularly, it's $6,000 a year, and you get 25% of the Airmeet professional plan for 13,500, and regularly that's 18,000. So $13,500 for an Airmeet professional plan. Now let me go back into the Airmeet professional plan and tell you exactly what you're missing out again. Okay, so that so you're missing out on the customizable 3D booths. You're going to miss out on the 1080p streaming, but we already talked about how you can get past 1080p and you can do 4K. Airmeet allows RDMP in for those who are just joining in. RDMP in and use your own encoder and produce a better quality event with your own software and just stream it into Airmeet. Always do that, right? So when it comes to lower thirds, titles, graphics on your video, right? You want to have a proper production software. It will produce a much better event. I mean, if you watch that Airmeet event, I'll be very honest with you. I can produce. I'm not even an event producer, or I'm not into event production, but I can produce an event and video far better than what Airmeet event experience event was. I mean, you would think that they would, have really good quality video production, but they didn't. I mean, it was really sad to watch that, right? It was like, hey, you're such a good platform and a really shitty video experience, right? So forget about 1080p and 720p from Airmeet. You want to use your own encoder and stream into Airmeet, and the Airmeet overall, the platform is beautiful, but their video, no, right? So, I mean, we have used it. I think maybe some of you might have actually joined the Airmeet. We have extensive discussions on it in the group. If you search, use your own encoder. You don't need this. So, and you get Okay, 500 attendees per event. Like here we get 1,000 attendees with our AppSumo plan. You do multi-track events for sure. You can do premium personalization and branding, right? Even for professional plan, you still have to pay to if you want a custom event URL, if you want to replace Airmeet branding with your logo, I think you still need to pay for some of that, right? So instead, why not, just continue using your plan. You don't need to worry about. So it's not like you're missing out on much, and you have to worry about it. So that whole announcement, I mean, for sure, it might be a bad sales pitch, but when it comes to delivering the features into your account, I think Airmeet has way exceeded the expectations and what their LTD promised, right? So you don't need to worry about it. There was a little bit of panic, but that's all like you know hearsay. A lot of people who don't have Airmeet would comment on it, so don't worry about it. I think it's fine. In future, if we do get screwed, that's a different story. That's a topic for another time. We'll do a live stream then. For now, you just enjoy Airmeet and have fun with it, right? Okay. So with that, I guess I'm going to end my session. Oh, what's going on here? Oh my. Okay. Well, my cats have actually managed to get my camera off. For some reason, I think they've uh, knocked off my camera cable. So let me just turn on my FaceTime HD camera. So there we go. Okay. So my apologies, guys. I didn't even realize. So they must have disconnected the power or something like that. But there's been, it was great talking to you guys. Thanks for all those who joined and asked questions and commented. Appreciate it, guys. I hope I was able to answer your questions. You don't need to, if you need any help in terms of how to RTMP in, what software to use for streaming, or anything like that, feel free to go ahead and comment in our community. I mean, we are like known for doing videos and live streaming, and we actually use the software. We have a community coming up in Circle as well. So if you are worried about how to do all this in Airmeet, and if you use Airmeet, right, ask away, and we'll be happy to jump and help you out and answer any questions and record any videos to make sure you don't have to worry about how to do all this. But only if you have the software and if you're stuck somewhere. With that, I think that's about it about Airmeet. We have a few things coming up. I'm going to open up the registration for our Circle community for our most engaged members to start with. And then we are going to have some SaaS founders, and we're going to have a whole bunch of crowd coming in from Circle, different communities as well. It's a premium type of community. At some stage, we are expecting we're going to charge for it because there is a cost associated to it, and there will be a lot more in-depth, information on there around, especially attractive to indie hackers, micro founders, and then build in public type of crowd. And it would be sort of like we want to evolve that platform into crowdfunding, both equity as well as rewards based crowdfunding. And I think that's the only way to move forward and support these SaaS companies in a more long term manner. Because otherwise, you don't have a lot of control over things, and the state of some of the SaaS tools coming up on LTD is not so great, right? So overall, the economy is going into a lot of recession. So SaaS companies, I mean, there is less funding in certain sectors. And with AppSumo, there is a lot of poor validation of tools as well. And what unfortunately happens is there is a lot of discussion which AppSumo is able to generate, which is on the positive side of the tools, completely neglecting some of the flaws, and everything looks great when the campaign is on, and then eventually it fails, right? So the people promoting it and the way it is being promoted, I mean, there are a lot of flaws in that particular platform. Having said that, there are a lot of good tools still on there, which once in a while they come up and they're up for grabs at a very throwaway price. But we want to evolve that model a little bit and do something more like a limited type of deal where founders get the validation, and then we want to also see if we can have equity. So it will be, of course, it has to be a legal portal. It has to go through legal rules and regulations, and there will be reward based crowdfunding as well, where you can fund, and you will exactly know who all or how many people are purchasing the platform, right? That's another biggest problem when it comes to LTDs and platforms like AppSumo and so on, where you don't know if it's like 5,000 people who are supporting the platform or five. And you can sort of judge it based on the number of reviews, but the reviews are also, we will have like, an actual decision making in terms of the community, where if the community thinks that the platform is good, then you will know who or want to put money in and get it as a reward versus or have an equity. So there is a lot of work involved around that, around safes or equity, and how to convert that equity into when the startup gets funded and things like that. But we're going to get over those legal issues, and there is a lot of work put into it. But we are opening up Circle community, so stay tuned, especially for most engaged members who are on live streams, who are in our community always talking, and who have a good taste in software. We want to invite them into our Circle community, and then we're going to make it paid. So um, oh, who is that? I wish I had jumped on Airmeet. Let me see. Daniel Croft. Okay, hey Daniel. Yes, yeah. Airmeet is a really good platform. They actually, whatever they promised on AppSumo, they've delivered a lot more than that. Of course, they can always do more. And considering a lot of people who supported them, I think they can a little bit be more generous. But I mean, we always want more, right? Like if it was my software or your software, would I mean, do the same? Maybe, but this is like Airmeet has evolved into a little bit much bigger platform, and I think they have to deliver to their investors as well. So there are things which they can do, and there are things which they might not be able to do. So with that, yes, Airmeet still is a good platform, but again, uh, Daniel, if you are looking for an event platform, look for Hey Summit. If you can get Hey Summit as well, it's pretty good. Like from an event management platform perspective, it's pretty good, and they do have a lot of integrations with different webinars and live streaming softwares. So that might work too. It depends on how your event is structured, what kind of event you're doing, in if it's like a single day event, or even a multi-day event. I've seen a lot of people use Hey Summit. So don't get stuck on the platform. I mean, you can work your ways around it, and still, so don't have any regrets if you don't have Airmeet. But yes, I mean, I'm sure, I hope there is more platforms like Airmeet which show up in the LTD world, but it's hard to come by, right? So it is a different story to have an LTD and to actually go ahead and scale that into something which is an extremely profitable venture, right? So anyway, with that, thank you everyone for joining in, guys. Maybe I'll do one while I'm at it. Maybe I'll do another live stream in a couple of days. But have a wonderful weekend, everyone, for wherever you are, or have Jason, have a good trip to Montreal. Enjoy yourself, and good luck with your training. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.
We gonna take on the world.